Well, your top 7 fastest time trialers for tomorrow afternoon's Carquest 150. Well, Kenny, I'll tell you, you had us all sitting on the edges of our seats. You broke into the 6th fastest time, and then your friend next door here went and tied you. We had to break open the books and check the 2nd lap time, but you still squeaked in there. You'll be starting in 7th position tomorrow as you tied with Stevie Botcher for your top 6 fastest time trialer, 22.707, and you're having a good run so far. 2 top runs out here in the time trial sessions and kind of made things easy for you for the Carquest weekend.
Well, it's a good start. Hopefully we can have a good weekend, the rest of the weekend, and real fortunate to put both cars in the starting lineup so far, and hopefully we'll have some good luck to go along with it.
Mentally, does it really put a sigh of relief into the old brain there when you know you already have 2 good runs and 2 top qualifying spots, and you don't got to worry about those very grueling heat races tomorrow?
Yeah, it definitely helps. Puts you a little bit at ease, but the work is yet to come, and that's both feature events here. So this is a good start, but really got to concentrate on the feature.
Well, as we mentioned before, you certainly can't rest here this evening because you got a whole lot of racing ahead of you yet for the Skull Racing Super Dirt Series events this evening.
Oh, that's for sure. Thank you.
Kenny Tremont, ladies and gentlemen, your 7th fastest time trialer, and Stevie Botcher, I don't know if you sat down with Kenny and said, well, I'm going to get in here one way or another, and you kind of locked horns there at a 22.707 seconds. You had a better 2nd time lap, and that'll put you on the outside of row number 3, and it seems like the old backup ride here from Countryside is certainly one of the best rides that you've enjoyed here on the dirt circuit all year. A 2nd at Syracuse, and now a real good run of the time trials this afternoon.
Yeah, we're real happy. Howie's helping us out quite a bit here. I think he has a real good car. I didn't drive it real well, but I think we have a lot left for that 150 lapper.
Well, over 80 cars took time trials. You came home in your 6th fastest ride of the afternoon, and of course, kind of watched Howie up there. He took over the 3rd fastest time, so the Countryside Oil team certainly may be one of the biggest threats for small blocks here this weekend.
Yeah, we're looking real good, and tomorrow I think we're going to run them down.
Well, the talent behind the wheel is certainly shining in the last part of the year. Stevie Botcher, ladies and gentlemen, your 6th fastest time trialer out here. And Danny Johnson, we get to talk to you again. Another good run in the small block modified time trials. And once again, you don't got to worry about those headbanging heats tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, it takes a lot of pressure off us, no doubt. I got to thank the Freightliner team for giving me the cars to be able to, get up here at the top in both divisions. And it's a pleasure for me to be here.
We've seen some better times for the small blocks than we did the big blocks out there this afternoon, and the sun we sort of saw went down. Did that kind of maybe speed things up for the small blocks?
Well, I think it's just getting the lap times on the track. I think the track came around and got a little bit quicker, actually. I think the sun going down actually probably made it a little bit slower, but I think all the cars being on the track made it quicker, so it was a push type of deal. Well,
you certainly did a good job out there this afternoon. Now all efforts on the big block tonight.
All right, thank you.
Danny Johnson, ladies and gentlemen, your number 6 car. He'll be in 5th spot. Jimmy Hauser, the HB2 car, and a good run you've had in the 1994 season. Of course, you brought the car home to victory lane right out of the box this year, and you're looking real good. You don't got to go qualifying tomorrow in the heat events.
No, yeah, the car really ran superb today, and I'd like to thank a lot of people that made this possible for me and everything. Precision Engine, my parents, my crew, they're the best, and TO Fabrications for a good car, great car.
Well, you've shown to be very strong in the long-distance efforts throughout the 1994 season. 150 laps tomorrow afternoon, and you're on the outside of row number 2.
Yeah, I think, we got the equipment to go the distance. Just a little lady luck, we'll be right in there.
And certainly some of the nicest equipment as well. Jimmy Hauser, a job well done. Outside row number 2 for tomorrow afternoon. And of course, a man in victory lane many times throughout the 1994 year. Did you really know that you had a real good time? Did it feel good when you were out there?
I thought we had a real good time, but I didn't know where we were going to wind up.
Well, you certainly turned some better times than the big block modifieds did during their efforts out there, and must feel good once again to look through that starting lineup and see both of your cars parked right up there in the front rows.
Yeah, I like that. Happy Steve got up here too, and hopefully one of these yellow cars is going to be in victory lane on Saturday.
Well, follow each other around the track, and we hope to talk to one of you come tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you, Tim.
Hallie Finch, ladies and gentlemen, 3rd fast, an outside invader here this weekend at the Orange County Speedway, but you're certainly showing the regulars the fast way around.
Yeah, the car feels pretty good so far. Time will tell, I guess. We'll see.
Not having a whole lot of track time on the 5/8 mile mile hard clay. You kind of had to dig out the old history books from the couple of appearances you made so far throughout the past couple of years, but you really did something right because the car was quick right out of the box.
Yeah, we made a couple changes after the last set of hot laps, and it seemed to go good for us, so I think we're all set.
Well, you got a real good starting spot. You're on the outside. You can really let it all hang out when the green flag drops tomorrow.
Yeah, we should be in pretty good shape.
Dave Cabrera, ladies and gentlemen, coming all the way down from Vermont in an outstanding drive. And Jimmy Horton, if we get to talk to you again, up here in the #1 spot, the small block modified. Flawless out here this afternoon. You turned in a quicker time than the big block modified did, and did you really know it was that quick?
Well, we were pretty quick. I didn't know we were that quick, but, you know, we probably should have run this one in the modified too, but, you know, we got to work.
You really feel that the heat is on. You had a real good last 2 weeks around the state of New York with a win at Fonda and, of course, the big Real 300 win. How much is the pressure on now for this weekend here at Eastern States?
Oh, hell, the pressure's over. Now it's just fun.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got a lot of people out there pulling for you. Jimmy Horton, congratulations. You will go away in the #1 spot in tomorrow afternoon's Carquest 150.
Thank you very much.
Jimmy Horton. As is tradition here at the Orange County Fair Speedway on Eastern State Racing Weekend, the Hard Luck Driving Award is given away for both big blocks and small block modifieds. And after all the qualifying was done this afternoon and all the consolations were run, one driver who was a rookie here in the 1994 season did a yeoman effort to pull himself into that qualifying spot. He was running in a qualifying position, fighting for the 3rd spot down the back straightaway. He did a complete 360 spin midway down the backstretch and kept going, only to be haunted by a flat tire in turns 3 and 4. And for the hard drive to the front, which did not yield a qualifying spot, John Ferrier receives the Hard Luck Award from Area Auto Racing News this year. $150 pair of Simpson Racing shoes will be presented to John Ferrier on behalf of Dean Reynolds and the Area Auto Racing News staff. And John, I'll tell you what, as a rookie out here in the field, your first Eastern States weekend ever, what went through your mind when you were going down the back straightaway and all of a sudden you find yourself heading in the wrong direction?
Well, at that particular time, I wasn't really exactly sure what to do because being a rookie, I didn't exactly have never been in that situation before. The first thing went through my mind was basically just stay in the gas, stay hard. You know, one thing about racing, like a rule of thumb, is that if you stay in the gas, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, you'll come out on top. In that case, it was quite a hairy ride, but I basically did come out all right and kept going, amazingly.
Well, the biggest disappointment was when you ended at turn number 3 and found out that the racing tire went flat in the process.
Yeah, I was down so low down at the bottom of the track, I wasn't exactly sure if it was from the mud, because as I went to accelerate, I just was going basically nowhere. I thought maybe it was just because I was in the mud, but then as I got out onto the hard surface, I realized that it had been a cut tire, and I just couldn't go anywhere at that point.
Well, John, you had a good run in your first rookie season here at the Orange County Speedway. You turned a lot of heads. You had a lot of good finishes out there, a lot of good qualifying rounds. A great year on behind you. We're certainly going to look forward to you next year. A Hard Luck Award, of course, is something you never quite want to receive, but your hard work and efforts have been recognized by the Area Auto Racing News. A brand new pair of Simpson Racing shoes. That'll get you going in 95.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a 95 season. My brothers Scott and Mike Horton done a great job getting the car ready, and I know come springtime we're going to be really ready to go. And now that I got 1 year behind my belt, I tell you, we're really going to be a contender.
Well, John Ferrier, we'll look to have you back in the 5/8 mile hard clay next year. And Dean Reynolds, on behalf of Area Auto Racing News, we'd like to thank you for your ongoing support throughout Eastern States weekend. It is a tradition here in the 5/8 hard clay to have the folks up here from Area Auto Racing News presenting the Hard Luck Award for both big blocks and small block modifieds.
Yeah, Tim, it's the award no one really wants to win, but it's our way to help out the drivers that did have the hard luck and didn't start the features for small blocks and modifieds, and it's a pleasure being here again. We appreciate it.
Well, it's certainly good to see that the efforts go noticed of all these drivers who don't quite get themselves into the starting lineup. But we all know that not everybody can make the field, but we want to thank Area Auto Racing News for their continued support.
Thank you, Tim.
Area Auto Racing News, and on behalf of Dean Reynolds, presenting John Ferrier, the Hard Luck Charging Award. And Dennis, on behalf of Playtalk Shopping Plaza and the Orange County Auto Auction, you folks have voted Jimmy Hauser, the HB2 Car and Crew, as the best appearing setup here this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's undisputed. These guys are really looking good. The car looks good. They got 3 cars here. And Play Talk Shopping Plaza is really proud to sponsor Eastern States Weekend, Tim.
Well, Play Talk Shopping Plaza, a very big part of the Middletown community. You got 15 great stores down there in one location, plus the big Orange County auto auction happening every week. And of course, Play Talk's always been a good friend of the Orange County Speedway. We'd certainly like to thank you for your ongoing support. You'll be back again tomorrow.
They say this is only temporary. Very temporary.
Very temporary. You miss it?
Yeah, a little bit.
I bet you. Yeah.
New Jersey with a Chariot Custom Vans and Trucks number 7W in Kennedy County. On the inside from Middletown, New York, the NI Motorsports Mr. K's carpet number 7, Gary Higby. Row number 17 on the outside. In the 32nd spot on the outside, behind the wheel of car number 6, the Pat's Radiator Special from Kingston, Ontario, it's going to be Pat O'Brien. On the inside, behind the wheel of car number 19W from Watertown, New York. On the inside, out of Zephyr Hills, Florida, the Sonny's Farm Market, Dover Break, 00 Fuzzy Ruderman. Row number 11, on the outside in 22nd starting spot out of Spencertown, New York, the Madsen Overhead Doors, number 89. It's Brian Madsen. On the inside of Brian, starting in spot number 21 from Sinking Springs, Pennsylvania, the Tabloid Graphics number 19, Mr. Excitement, Kenny Brightbill. Row number 10, on the outside in 20th starting spot from Pompton Lakes, New York, the Maka Railing Trailer King number 711, Johnny Maka. On the inside of Johnny from Middletown, New York, the TNT Ignitions, ATS Transmission number 68, it's Scotty Goodrich. Row number 9 on the outside, starting in spot number 18 from Kingston, New York, the Ram Roofing number 16, Jackie Brown Jr. On the inside in 17th starting spot from Caister Center, Ontario, with the Plazik Auto Recyclers number 1, it's Canada Joe Plazik. Row number 8 on the outside, out of Riverdale, New Jersey, with the Katzenstein Racing, Dover Break number 265, Larry Brolsma. On the inside, in 15th position out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, with the Coors Racing, Zeller's Mobile number 60, Dougie Hoffman. Row number 7 on the outside, starting in 14th position out of Valley Cottage, New York, the Ardepellis & Sons Masonry number R7, it's Bobby Hayes Jr. On the inside, in 13th spot, from Watertown, New York, the Pal Chevrolet number 1, Barefoot Bob McCready. Row number 12 on the outside out of Franklin, New York, starting in 12th position with the Quality Hardwoods wheels number 91 car. It's the Franklin Flyer, Billy Tucker. On the inside, starting in 11th position out of Wind Gap, Pennsylvania, the Smith Brothers Concrete Carquest number 74 car, Frank Cozy. Row number 5 on the outside out of Wallkill, New York, starting in 10th position out of the Van Duzer Masonry Racing Town. It's the 24K of Kirk Van Duzer. Alongside Kirk out of Dwaynesburg, New York, the Hauser Brothers Mechanical number HB2J. It's Jumpin' Jack Johnson. Row number 4 on the outside, starting in 8th position out of Sussex, New Jersey, with the Par Royal number 1 car. It's the Jet Brett Byrne. On the inside of row number 4 out of West Sand Lake, New York, behind the wheel of car number 115, the Doherty Brothers Construction Special, it's Kenny Tremont. Row number 3 on the outside, in spot number 6 out of Lehighton, Pennsylvania, the Countryside Oil number 25 X-Car, Stevie Botcher. On the inside of row number 3, starting in spot number 5 out of Phelps, New York, the Freightliner Trucks of Newburgh, the Doctor of Big Block Excitement, DJ Teddy Johnson. Row number 2 on the outside, starting in 4th position out of Blauvelt, New York, piloting the Hauser Brothers Mechanical number HB2, it's Jimmy Hauser. On the inside, starting in spot number 3 from Haynesville, New Jersey, the Countryside Oil number 25, Howie Finch. And Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you once again your front row for the 1994 Carquest 150 on the outside in spot number 2 out of Pulteney, Vermont with the Camara Slate number 26 car. It's Dave Camara. And your pole sitter once again for this afternoon's 150-lap Carquest Auto Parts feature event out of Somerville, New Jersey, the Duchess Overhead Tours number 87, Jimmy Horton. Right here. In the field away this afternoon, we would ask you all to please rise in the United States Division, the head of the Motorsports Marketing Division, Rich Pillai from Carquest Auto Parts. You've got some inspiring words for these drivers.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
There you have it. Pit lane, one very quick time. They can get familiar with where their pit locations will be throughout the 150-lap shootout. 1 lap down. 1 mandatory pit crews play half of the act as well. They come in, make a good pit stop, get back out there, and hold a good track position when they come out. They can win the race. If they blow it in the pits, they can lose it. Remember, finishing second at any one of these big winning weekend on the Dirt Motorsports Circuit. He'll bring that back to small block modifieds on a turn before the green flag flies. Ladies and gentlemen, the Carquest 150 is now underway. Horton very quickly keeps the power to the outside part of the Speedway. 3 wide already coming out of turn number 2 as they fight for the number 3 position. Hauser moves up to the number 3 slot. Down the back straightaway. Camara retains spot number 2. It's Howie Finch under the inside showing some muscle with teammate Stevie Botcher powering up to the outside. Teammates coming out of turn number 4 this time while Brent Hearn looks for a door to go racing through down the home straightaway. Jimmy Horton leading the first lap of 150 laps of grueling feature event action. Camara second. Well, Hearn taps the concrete. He is in trouble. Brent Hearn, the Power Royal number 1 car, possibly not having a brake on that car at all as the car just went right to the outside of turn number 2, and he will bring out the first caution flag of the afternoon. It was interesting. We watched him go into turn number 2. The car may have lost brakes because it just shot straight up to the outside groove and tapped that concrete. He'll take the Power Royal number 1 car down behind pit wall right now, and it'll be the first pit stop of this 150-lap event. Remember, now is the time that Brett does not want to lose any laps in the pit area. He quickly wheels around to the Auto Palace pit crew, and they're setting it. And Hearn will be possibly losing a lap. You can bet the pit crew's watching him to see if they can beat the car out of pit alley, but they are taking the right rear tire off the car. Hearn already a lap down after just 2 laps of competition. A very tough break for the corporate jet out of Sussex, New Jersey, who had very high hopes of this small block modified trailed event this afternoon. Hearn caught behind pit wall as the field goes by. They changed the right rear racing tire on that car right now. Possibly a broken wheel on that car. Could have shifted and lunged the car towards the wall. Jimmy Horton has been the leader right off the get-go. Dave Camara rides on the outside. One of the pairs of cars you want to keep your eyes on is the Countryside Oil cars. They're side by side back there in row number 3, and they look like a power-packed team to beat.
Tim, with a 150-lap race and 147 still slated to go, even though Hearn is down a lap, keep your eyes on him. He could pick up a lap and be a factor.
Well, he'll get going right now as the green flag flies once again. Horton up to the outside. Camara looks down to the inside this time. But here comes Danny Johnson quickly up to the outside part of the speedway, and Johnson takes over the number 3 position. Hauser is 4th. Stevie Botcher riding back there in the number 5 spot, and teammate, of course, Haley Finch running back there in spot number 6. Now Botcher puts the play on Jimmy Hauser down the home straightaway. Jimmy Horton holds on to the lead. Horton runs the outside lane of traffic while Dave Camara is picking up some feet on the inside groove. Camara very talented through the straightaways, but Horton, wow, problems. Joe Plazik. Caution, lights on the field. Joe Plazik slamming the second turn concrete. Safety crew already over there, and we're going to try and get Rick Ryder over there with a radio, but the track safety crew over there, we're going to try and get an indication with a radio. That's about the highest I have ever seen a car here at Orange County Fair Speedway take a flyer. Okay? Yes. Word, ladies and gentlemen, from the accident scene, Joe Plezik is okay. Plezik, the Canadian, is out of the car. Flyer he takes coming out of turn number 2, cleared a light pole right down. But Plezik is out of the car, they tell us, and he is okay. Very hard to even see the Johnny Maka car down there between the midway down the back straightaway, but Johnny Maka, the Maka Railing Trailer King 711, also involved in the mishap. It looked like Joe Plezik had hopped the top of the wall, and I'll tell you what, he went for a wild ride out of the turn 2 area, took one of our light poles completely off, as that car had, Vert 24 car, will also be taken behind the pit wall. Your first Olson Todd Cutlass Supreme Pace car brings the pack up, small block modifieds, down the home straightaway. Starter Kenny Marshall up on the flagger stand with assistant Paul Matthews. They ended the field the indication that one more lap and we'll be back to green flag action. Field running through, just a little bit of moisture laid down by the Plezik number 1 car. Todd Pace car has reported back down to the infield. The caution lights have been turned out. Ladies and gentlemen, the field rolls out of turn number 4 this time. The green flag flies. We go back to racing action. Quickly, Horton up to the outside, and Camara taking that inside groove once again. 3 wide out of turn number 2 this time. As Stevie Botcher goes to the outside part of the speedway. He races for spot number 3 against the 6 of Danny Johnson. Johnson down to the inside. Botcher freewheeling on the outside. The outside lane is open, and Botcher drops down behind the number 26 of Team Camara. Camara, the Camara Slate Special, running the number 2 spot. Botcher 3rd, Johnson 4th, and here comes Jimmy Hauser. Hauser on the outside, down the back straightaway, settles back for spot number 5. Danny Johnson using Stevie Botcher as his drafting partner, but now Johnson slingshots down to the inside. They fight for the number 3 spot. Johnson rallies on the inside. Botcher dances to the outside. Out of turn number 4 this time, and Botcher retains the number 3 position. Jimmy Horton holds on to the number 1 spot. Horton up there in the lead right now. Here comes DJ back up to the outside part of the speedway. Dave Camara, and they tapped going down the back straightaway. Botcher and Johnson came together, but Botcher stayed on it. When the car came back down on all 4s, it took off and held on to the 3rd place challenge. Stevie Botcher, the 2nd generation multi-talented honcho out of Lehighton, Pennsylvania, fights with some of the best small block campaigners as here comes DJ once again. Danny Johnson squeezes up to the outside part of the speedway. Here comes Jack Johnson. He begins to look alive, and he pulls up on the teammate, but caution out of the field once again. Problems. Midway, down the back straightaway. 26 of Tom Foley, the 33 of Tommy Meyer. 2 cars come together coming out of turn number 2, and that brings out the caution with 16 laps now being recorded. Remember, caution laps do count until the final 3 laps of this 150-lap Carquest Auto Parts feature event. this 150-lap classic. You can see the sheet metal getting peeled back on the number 33 C car, and there is some suspension damage done to that car as it has a bad vibration in it. The Petro 1 number 26 car of Tom Foley also involved. Both those cars will have to join the tail side of the field, but it appears that Tommy Meyer may be reporting behind a pit wall. Meyer dropping off the pace. The 87 of Jimmy Horton is your current race leader. Dave Camara, an outside invader here this weekend, doing an outstanding drive in the number 2 spot. Stevie Botcher. Botcher has been locked with a tremendous racing duel with Danny Johnson. Lap after lap, those two drivers are fighting for the number 3 spot. Botcher so far coming out on top after the two cars have dueled at one point just 3 laps ago. Botcher's car was actually airborne. The rear part of it was airborne as it hopped the wheel, but Botcher knew what to do. He stayed on the gas. When a car came back down at all fours, he retained the 3rd place challenge. Danny Johnson on the outside. You can bet he's not going to give up the fight. The Freightliner Trucks of Newburgh, number 6 car, it's been in victory lane many times. It wants to be there again today. Teammates now back in row number 3 on the inside. The HB2 is Jimmy Hauser. On the outside, it's Jack Johnson, the HB2J car. Howie Finch riding back there in the number 7 spot. Kurt Van Duzer is 8th. Kenny Tremont 9th. Bob McCready is then 10th. Frank goes the 11th. And Larry Brolsma back in spot number 12. Dougie Hoffman running back there in spot number 13 with the Coors Racing Zeller Mobiles number 60 car. And of course, Bobby Hayes on the outside with the R7X. Caution lights get turned out once again. The Olson Todd, Cutlass Supreme pace car, returns behind pit wall. Jimmy Horton, he's the pilot of the field right now. He'll bring that back down out of turn number 4. He hits the starter barrel. The camera goes down. The green flag flies. We go back to racing action once again. Watch Camara instantly report to the inside groove coming out of turn number 2, but here comes DJ Danny Johnson. Quickly slingshotting, rim riding out of turn number 2. He picks up the number 3 spot, but here it goes 3 wide, down in 3 and 4. Botcher sideways. Stevie Botcher sideways, and that is not a good position to be when the field is coming upon you. 3 cars went in side by side. Only 2 cars came out. Stevie Botcher just lost the handle on things as he went in hard in turn number 3, tried to thread the needle with Danny Johnson on the outside and Jimmy Hauser on the inside. Botcher okay, he fires Smith. Also fires back up the Canaiso race car, number 73, small block modified. Both those cars will be rejoining the tail side of the field. 20 laps have now been complete. 20 down, just 130 more to go. 3 laps once again. First year that the small block modified race has been extended to 150 laps. Normally a 100-lap event over many, many years here at the Orange County Speedway. But this year, thanks to the help from Carquest Auto Parts, the purse was substantial. Bob McCready to drop back 1 row as he goes down the back straightaway this time. Bob McCready out of Watertown, New York, picked up that small block modified ride the last part of the 1994 year. Car normally owned and piloted by Skip Travis, the PAL Chevrolet sponsored small block. Well, assistant starter Paul Matthews will be joined by starter Kenny Marshall, and they'll try and reorchestrate the field very, very quickly to let the drivers know exactly which position they are to restart in. Todd pace car takes him down the back straightaway. That caution lights get turned out. 23 laps have been scored in this 150-lap classic. Olson Todd pace car back down to the inside. Jimmy Horton knows there's no time to slow right now as he pulls out of turn number 4. Back down the home straightaway. Green flag flies. We're back underway. Horton on to the inside. This time the bottom door gets closed by Danny Johnson. Dave Camara cannot come down to the inside. 3 wide on turn number 2 once again. Camara down down the back straightaway, holds on to the number 2 spot. Danny Johnson is 3rd. Jimmy Hauser 4th. Jack Johnson back in spot number 5. Now, Howie Finch tries to enter the picture. He'll have to take over where teammate Stevie Boncher dropped off as he is back in the number 5 slot. Horton on the move right now, securing the number 1 slot. Camara 2nd. Danny Johnson builds up the horsepower to the outside part of turn number 2. Johnson very quickly down the back straightaway. There is a man on the move, and he is closing in on 2nd place, running Dave Camara. Teammates side by side. Now, here comes Howie Finch. Slingshot picks up 2 spots out of turn number 4. 22.47 last time around for Jimmy Horton. Here comes DJ on the outside. Slingshot down the back straightaway to pick up the number 2 position. Danny Johnson now inherits the bridesmaid spot up there in the number 2 spot. The Freightliner Trucks of Newburgh car now has one move in mind, and that's to close the gap between himself and leader Jimmy Horton. Dave Camara rides in 3. Horton 22.69 last time around. But here comes Johnson. Johnson looks a little more capable in the turns than does Jimmy Horton. Remember, Johnson, a long-time campaigner here in Orange County. He knows the quick way around, and he knows how to learn the 5/8 mile very quickly. Here he comes onto the outside. He has closed the gap between himself and Jimmy Horton. Caution lights coming on. Problems down in turn number 3. Lights coming on the field right now, down in turn number 3 and 4. We have Johnson and Jimmy Horton. Johnson, as we mentioned before, is a veteran of this hard clay surface. He learns how to learn the track and adapt to the track very quickly. He has made the most moves through the pack so far, and he has made the most daring moves. A lot of 3-wide racing in the turns. Johnson appears to have the edge through the turns of the 5/8 mile. We'll see how long that holds on. Jimmy Horton still your leader. Johnson is 2nd. Dave Camara rides in spot number 3. Jack Johnson running back there in the number 4 spot. Howie Finch rides back in the number 5 slot, and Jimmy Hauser on the outside in spot number 6. Doug Hoffman then back in the number 7 spot. Frank Cozy is 8th. Kenny Tremont 9th, and Bob McCready rounds out the top 10 running order.
Next caution, button.
30 laps have now been scored. Caution lights get turned out. The Olsen Todd pace car back down to the inside. Jimmy Horton looks over and says, "Well, no, I've got to go racing now. Here we come very quickly out of turn number 4. The green flag flies. We go back to high-speed excitement." Horton on the inside and Johnson on the outside. Here comes DJ, winds it up, pulls the trigger, and boom, up into the number 1 spot he goes. Down the back straightaway, your new race leader after 31 laps of competition. It's Danny Johnson. Now some smoke coming from Jimmy Hauser's, that is Johnson's car. Jack Johnson's car showing some signs of smoke. The HB2 car back in spot number 5 when he backs off the accelerator. Smoke definitely coming from the tail side of the car. Horton back there in spot number 2. Camara rides in 3. Jimmy Hauser running in 4. Jack Johnson in 5. Frank Cozy then back in spot number 6. Here comes Hoffman to the outside of Howie Finch. Doug Hoffman out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. He puts the move on Howie Finch. 22.78 second lap for Danny Johnson. Johnson down the back straightaway. Now builds up a little bit of space between himself and 2nd place running Jimmy Horton. Horton keeps it on the inside. Horton is going to use the inside groove down in 3 and 4 to try and cut the gap away between himself and leader Danny Johnson. Johnson, meanwhile, has used that outside groove to his advantage ever since the Johnson in trouble. The car is smoking badly. The power plant may be going south on the number 6 car. A lot of smoke came out as he went down through 3 and 4. Let's see what happens right now. He backs off the accelerator. The smoke still billows from the back of the number 6 car. He may be in trouble. Could it be power steering? Could it be a power plant itself? The car has not dropped off the pace. The car still going up to power, but a lot of smoke coming from the tail side of race leader Danny Johnson's Freightliner Trucks of Newburgh number 6 machine. We'll keep our eyes on it. We'll see if he drops off the pace at all. Johnson, the smoke still out of that car. Turned in a 22.72, not too bad of a lap, but the power plant may be screaming Mercy down the back straightaway. Johnson appears to be stretching things out. Does Horton know that Johnson's in trouble and says, I will not spare the power right now because I know he's going to drop out. I'll wait in spot number 2. DJ is in trouble. Horton rides the number 2 groove right now. Dave Camara still 3rd. Jimmy Hauser is 4th. Jack Johnson back in spot number 5, but here comes Frank Cozy to the outside. Cozy up to the outside part of the speedway right now, and Frank Cozy puts on the challenge for the number 5 position. Cozy on the outside, Jack Johnson on the inside. They fight for the number 5 door down there in turns number 3 and 4. Johnson holding on to the number 5 groove. Danny Johnson still your race leader and still billowing the puffs of smoke every time he goes through the turns on the 5/8 mile. Jimmy Horton, he's trying to calculate the damage to the number 6 car. What could possibly be causing the smoking problem? But Horton will not waste any power. He'll retain back there in the number 2 spot because there's almost a chance that the number 6 car will not go another 110 laps with that kind of smoking problem right now. Jimmy Horton still 2nd, Camara 3rd, Hauser is 4th, Frank Cozy now in spot number 5, Howie Finch is 6th, and here comes Kirk Van Duzer. Van Duzer showing some signs of muscle on the outside. Danny Johnson on the clocks is starting to drop off the pace. Down the back straightaway he motors. His crew may have radioed to him to take it easy right now. We got some problems aboard the small block modified power plant. Johnson is taking it easy. The time is dropping off each time by a 22.81 lap. Last time around, he's definitely dropping off the pace just a hair. While Jimmy Horton assessing the scene from the backside. Back there in spot number 2. Camara rides in 3. Hauser is 4th. Cozy 5th. Here comes the battle for spot number 6. It's Howie Finch and Kurt Van Duzer. Van Duzer back there in spot number 7. Doug Hoffman is 8th. Bob McCready 9th. They fight for spot number 10. Larry Brolswood to the outside. Kenny Tremont on the inside. Another 22.8-second lap for race leader Danny Johnson. That is not a very quick lap for the small blocks. Low 22s. We saw some high 21s so far this weekend. Smoking problem and now lap traffic may soon become the factor on this 150-lap classic. And Horton is closing in. Johnson may be slowing down. Jimmy Horton gained significant ground on race leader Danny Johnson when he went into turn number 1. Johnson may be backing off in the turns. He drops down to the inside part of the speedway, and Jimmy Horton begins to throttle up to the inside. Here comes Horton, the young throttle jockey out of Somerville, New Jersey, begins to close in on race leader Danny Johnson. Johnson on the outside, looking over the back markers, trying to nurse that car up to the number 1 spot. Johnson takes him down the back straightaway, but Jimmy Horton keeps an eye on the situation. Horton back there in the Duchess overhead doors car. Lap traffic may now become the factor, and this is where Jimmy Horton may decide to make his move off to the inside corner, side by side. They'll drag race down the home straightaway for the number 1 spot. It's Johnson on the outside, Horton on the inside, and a lap car ahead. Watch what happens. It may be a 3 abreast maneuver to retain the number 1 spot by Danny Johnson. Johnson down the back straightaway right now. He rides the outside part of the 5/8 mile hard clay. Johnson drops down to the inside, not quite enough room for Horton to make a move. Horton trying to get a nose on the inside, but Johnson occupies that position. Johnson on the inside. Horton back there in spot number 2. Camara still 3rd. Hauser is 4th. And the smoke may be getting worse once again on the number 6 car, Danny Johnson. In the midst of lap traffic, rides Jimmy Horton on turn number 2 right now. Off to the inside corner, down the back straightaway. He holds on to the number 2 standing. Dave Camara still 3rd. Jimmy Hauser is 4th. 5th place battle. Frank Cozy, Howie Finch, and Kirk Van Duzer are all nose and tail down there coming on a turn number 4. And Finch puts a wheel onto the inside part of the speedway down at turn number 4 to make a break into the top 5 running order. Frank Cozy, the Smith Brothers Carquest, number 74 car, fights for the number 5 spot. But here comes Howie Finch. Finch on the inside, that countryside oil, number 25X car. Finch powerful. Off at turn number 4. Danny Johnson. Smoke still coming from the tail side of that car. Jimmy Horton looking it over on the outside. Camara still 3rd. Jimmy Hauser 4th. Frank Cozy is 5th. Howie Finch 6th. Kurt Van Duzer 7th. Doug Hoffman 8th. Bob McCready 9th. And Larry Brolsma has won that 10th place battle between himself and Kenny Tremont. 3 wide coming down the straightaway this time, deep in the heart of lap traffic as they get the word that the leaders are upon you. 3 wide lap traffic. Race leader Johnson to the outside coming out of turn number 2. Johnson down the back straightaway. Now in the heart of lap traffic. Here is where Jimmy Horton may begin to pedal right now to close up the gap. Horton onto the inside. That touches overhead doors. 50 laps will now be complete. 1/3 the way home. Johnson onto the outside part of the Speedway. 50 laps have now been earmarked as they motor down the back straightaway right now. Center point is the number 6 of Danny Johnson. Johnson is holding on to the number 1 spot. Jimmy Horton on the inside, and here's Joe Murata to tell you some more.
All right, well, Danny Johnson in the smoker number 6 comes down here in the front straightaway, still turning in good lap times. Horton rides back there second. Camaro rides in the number 3 spot. It's Jimmy Hauser running 4th. Frank Cozy running 5th. Howie Finch running back there in the number 6 spot. Running 7th is Kurt Van Duzer. Running in 8th spot, it's the 60 over of Dougie Hoffman. 9th position is Bob McCready in the black number 1. And the 10th spot is the 115 of Kenny Tremont. So a lot of racing action. Donnie Wilson, car number 7, right rear flat tire. Right rear flat tire on the Donnie Wilson, car number 7. And just prior to the caution coming out, Jimmy Hauser has moved into the number 3 spot. Here's your leader here in the front straightaway. Hauser is 3rd, Camara is 4th, Cozy is 5th, Howie Finch in the next position. Pace car coming out. And ladies and gentlemen, the pits are open. This is the window that many of these drivers were looking for. They're dropping down over there in the number 3 turn. Here comes Danny Johnson, your race leader. Jimmy Horton coming in as well. Jimmy Hauser coming in. Dave Camara coming in. Here's the Frank Cozy, number 74, pulling into the pit area. All right, Camara pulling in. The gas man going to work there. Danny Johnson. Brett Hearn staying out to try to pick up his lap as he is right behind the pace car. Who's the leader now? Jeff Strump, car number 93, being picked up right now as the leader. Jeff Strump in car number 93 being picked up as the leader. Yellow remaining out onto the field. 54 laps are in. Pace car still out onto the Speedway. The Howie Finch number 25 crew going to work to change the right rear tire on the Countryside Oil car number 25. Here's Alan Johnson in the Freightliner car number 6. Jimmy Chester in car number 16. The leader, Jeff Strunk, car number 93. Second would be number 26, Dave Camara, would be your second place running car. Third place would be Jimmy Hauser in car number 2, Frank Cozy. Next in the position, car number 74. Frank Jarzembowski next in the position, and then Dougie Hoffman in car number 60. Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, where Brett Hearn is, he is still a lap down. But as soon as he comes out and the green comes out, he could pick up that lap, come around, pick up the lap, and of course on the next caution be on the tail side of the pack, just exactly where he wants to be. So he's playing some good strategy with track position right now. Your number 93 of Jeff Strunk is your leader. Pace car remaining out there, and they're pointing up into the corner. We could get a start next trip around. Technically, as we speak, the Priorio number 1 of Brett Hearn has picked up the lap, but he's right ahead of the leader. So if Jeff Strunk can get around him, Jeff, of course, would put him down the lap. Green lights coming back on. They hit the throttles. Down they come. Keep in mind, car number 93 is the leader. And Jeff Strunk quickly goes in. Brett Hearn is in the lead lap. Jack Johnson tucks it down onto the inside to go racing. Strunk is the leader. Remember, the second place running car is car number 26, Dave Camara. Is the second place running car. Third is Dave Camara in car number 26. Fourth is Frank Cozy in car number 74. Your fifth place running car is Jimmy Horton. Horton is back there in the number 5 spot. It looks like Hoffman rides 6. Here's your leader, car number 93. Here in the front straightaway, Danny rides in the number 2 spot. And Dr. J gets up wide. Camara gets down on the bottom side part of the speedway. Danny retakes the number 2 spot as they go traveling down the back straightaway. Dr. J holds on to the number 2 spot. Camara still rides right back there in the number 3 position. Jeff Strunk, car number 93, the leader. Here's Strunk. Here's Camara retaking that number 2 spot now. Camara up to second. Danny Johnson back to third. Frank Cozy rides fourth. The 717 appeared to be in some trouble, but he got out of the way in a hurry. Then comes Jimmy Horton. We got a jam up going down the back straightaway right now. Some traffic jam coming up into turn number 3. Jimmy Hauser falling off the pace in car number 2B, and they might be calling him in. He could have tire problems right now. Jeff Strunk, Dave Camara. Remember, Camara has made his pit stop, so has Danny Johnson, so has Frank Cozy. Here's Hauser in the HB2 coming in under a green flag stop. And he got his rear end scrunched up pretty heavy as he was racing hard out there. They're going to work on the front end of the car, though. Jeff Strunk, though, car number 93, holding on to the lead. Here's Dave Camara out of Pulteney, Vermont, rides in the number 2 spot. Camara closes in on him going down into that number 3 corner, drops down on the inside part of the speedway. Camara wants to show the red colors up front right now. Cranked it sideways, can't catch Strunk. Strunk looking stronger each and every lap coming down the front straightaway here. Here's Frank Cozy now working on the inside of Danny Johnson. In the Sprint Brothers, car number 74. Rides back there in the number 4 position. Looks down onto the inside of Dr. J, Danny Johnson. Danny lets a whiff of smoke out over there between the corners. Here's Cozy racing him on the inside part of the speedway. Cozy staying down onto the inside. Danny Johnson on the outside. Horton rides back there 5th. Hoffman rides 6th. Stevie Botcher in the number 7 spot. Down the back straightaway into the number 3 corner. Jeff Strunk still in command. Now Camara up to the number 2 spot, and Dave Camara drafts coming out of front straightaway. He wants to go to the point. Strunk gets sideways in the turn, almost losing it right in front of Camara. Camara works out of turn number 2 as they go down the back straightaway. Camara trying to close in. Camara only about a half, 3/4 lengths behind. Camara closing right in, down onto the inside. Camara looks on the inside. Danny Johnson looks up on the outside. Here's Danny again racing for that number 2 spot. Cozy riding back there in the number 4 position. Frank Cozy on the inside part of the speedway. Whoa, a 4-car battle for the number 1 spot, and Horton is coming on strong to make it a 5-car battle, and here comes Hoffman to make it a 6-car battle. A 6-car freight train coming out of turn number 4, and we got trouble. It's Tommy Kinsella. Tommy Kinsella out of Fayetteville, New York in car number 3. The Tracy Equipment car bangs off the number 2 corner. This puts the caution out. Again, remember, Brett Hearn now has picked up that lap. He's at the tail of the lead lap right now. Jeff Strunk has not made a pit stop as of yet. Car number 93 is your leader. 67 laps are in. 67 laps are in. Pace car coming out. Car number 93, Jeff Strunk, is the leader. Car number 93, Jeff Strunk, the leader. Pace car has picked up the second place running car, but will let, looks like Jeff Strunk will possibly be making his pit stop. Strunk has not made a pit stop. Now he reports into the pit area. Here's McCready in for his pit stop. Dave Camara, now your leader. Danny Johnson runs second. It's Frank Cozy running third. Back there fourth is Jimmy Horton. Fifth, it's Dougie Hoffman. Here's Hearn in the lead lap, coming back out onto the Speedway. And Hearn, as we said, did pick up that lap with pit strategy and track position strategy. Remaining out onto the Speedway. Pace car, the Olson Todd Oldsmobile, staying out there in front of the pack. Dave Camara out of Pulteney, Vermont, the leader. Running in the number 2 spot is Danny Johnson. Frank Cozy in the Smith Brothers car running third. Back there, Pete McDowell, Pat O'Brien, and Danny O'Brien and Buzzy Rudiman all involved for that 1994 championship. The Jimmy Hauser car still in the pit area, and they've been working on the front end of that car for many, many laps. He was a factor here prior, being given the signal to depart the Speedway. Going into 72, there was no visible tire wear at all. So tires are still in good condition with these small block modifieds. We are still short of the halfway point. Tire wear should not be a factor. Running ahead of Pete McNell for the 1994 McCreary Tire Sunoco Race Fuels Champion Spark Plug Mr. Dirt 358 Modified Championship. The Olson Todd Oldsmobile pace car is in. Down they come. Probably the last double file restart. The green lights are on. The hammers are down. Down the chute they come. And Camara in car number 26 regains the point. Here's Dougie Hoffman now, a former winner of this event. Drops down out of the inside and starts racing with Danny Johnson. But Danny, with good straightaway speed, starts to pull away going down there into that number 3 corner. Here's Hoffman dicing away with him again. Hoffman in the Coors wheels, car number 60, brings him down the front straightaway. Dougie Hoffman now takes away the number 2 spot. Danny Johnson regains the number 2 position. Up to 4th now. Here comes Jimmy Horton in the Duchess overhead doors, car number 87. Car in trouble midway portion of the back straightaway. Everybody gets away from it. Halfway home. We're halfway home here in this 150 lap event. Dave Camara at the point. The battle right now is for second. Dr. J. Danny Johnson, and we've got yellow out onto the Speedway. Robbie Green in car number 68, the car involved. He's up on the high side of turn number 4, actually pointed right into the front straightaway wall. He is okay. We can see him undo the straps, and he's starting to come out of the cockpit under his own power. So Camara will get a little bit of breathing room. We'll turn to the officials for who's in the number 2 spot, whether it was Hoffman or Danny Johnson. The way it appeared, 25X of Stevie Botcher out of Lehighton, Pennsylvania. Steve turning in a great performance today aboard the Countryside Oil, car number 25X. I believe 7th would be the 17 of Frank Jarzembowski. 78th lap. Camara the leader. Danny Johnson. The smoking has gone away. Officials apparently feel that everything is okay aboard the Freightliner car number 6. We'll be looking looking to our statistician Tom Skabinski here in a little bit to check out the Mr. Dirt 358 Championship. All cars all the way back to the Foley. Number 26 are in the lead lap, we have been told. All right, green coming out. Back up at the point. Here's the battle again for the number 2 spot. Hoffman dropping down on the inside. Tries to get by Dr. J. Danny Johnson. But Danny standing tough right there in the middle part of the Speedway. Holds on to the number 2 position. Hoffman rides third. It's Horton running back there in the number 4 spot. Cozy is 5th. Botcher is 6th. Jarzembowski is running 7th. Smith is running in the number 8 spot. Lepresti running in 9th and now takes over that 8th position. So a battle back there for the 8th and 9th spot. Meanwhile, the leaders continue to stay up here on the front side with Dave Camara looking for one of the biggest wins he would ever have if he stays up here in that number 1 spot. Camara leads him going down the back straightaway, but here's Dr. J. Danny Johnson in the Freightliner car going up to the outside part of the Speedway. Now he wrestles the car back down out of the inside. Danny is never done as he stays right with it there in the number 2 spot. Hoffman rides third. Fourth, it's Horton. Back there, 5th is Cozy. 6th, it's Botcher. Jarzembowski running 7th. Lepresti back in the number 8 spot. The lead, and Smith back there in car number 73 in the next spot. O'Brien and the 42 of Pete McNell riding right next to each other right now. O'Brien has got the advantage, but I don't know if it's enough difference. Look at the number 1 though, of Brett Hearn starting to come up through the pack. Hearn is really motoring with the Pyro Oil. Car number 1. Your leader up there in turn number 2. 84 laps have been completed. Danny Johnson moves down into that number 3 corner trying to close in. A little puff of smoke out of Danny's car again. We haven't seen that smoke in about 20 laps, and now it's starting again. Here comes Hoffman working on the inside. Danny gets up on the outside part of the Speedway. He stays right with it. Danny moves it down the back straightaway. 85 laps are in. We're working down into the number 3 corner with the leaders. Out of turn number 4. Danny holds on to 2nd. Hoffman rides back there 3rd. It's Horton running 4th. Cozy still 5th. The leaders will be coming into traffic here in a short. Here's Smith now coming down on the inside, but Hearn moves up along the outside of him, and I believe Hearn is in the 9th spot now. Hearn is running 9th in the lap with the leader. Car number 6 here in the front straightaway, it's Dr. J. Danny Johnson. We saw that puff of smoke about 4 laps ago. It must have been terminal. It's all over. Danny is in the pit area. Bad break for the Freightliner, car number 6. Meanwhile, it's Dave Camara up there in front. Hoffman rides in the number 2 spot. It's Horton still running 3rd. Your leader's coming by right now. 1, 2, 3. Back there 4th is Cozy. Jarzembowski running 5th. Botcher runs 6th, and now 7th is Brett Hearn. Lepresti is 8th. Smith is 9th. And it's Patty O'Brien running 10th. Billy Decker running 11th in the wheels, number 91. Then it's Pete Ward back. Pete McNell back there in the number 42. 89 laps have been completed. They work down the back straightaway. Leaders are now in traffic. We're going to be approaching the 90th lap, and to take you some of the way again is Tim Pitts.
Talent going to be shown right now through the back markers. Here's your leader, Dave Camara, to the outside part of the home straightaway. Camara works his way up to the high groove while Hoffman stays down to the inside. Doug Hoffman is using the inside groove through turns number 1 and 2 to possibly build that gap between himself and the 26 of Dave Camara. Jimmy Horton following right behind right now, the number 87 car. Horton closing in very quickly amidst the lap traffic. Horton back there in spot number 3. 4th place it is the number 74, Frank Cozy. Jarzembowski then rides back in spot number 5. Horton onto the outside part of the speedway. Doug Hoffman, the Coors Racing, number 60 overcar, holds on to the number 2 spot. Dave Camara out of Pulteney, Vermont. The Camara Slate number 60, number 26 car is building up that lion's share of the lap prize money. Remember, $10 in the minimum of every lap led here is added to that leader's share of the Lions purse right now as Doug Hoffman works the number 2 group down the back straightaway. Place. It is still the number 87 of Jimmy Horton. Fourth, the number 74, Frank Cozy. And fifth, the number 17 of Frank Jazembowski. Cozy onto the inside, works through the lap traffic, onto the inside corner, holds on to the number 4 place challenge. Jazembowski still back in spot number 5, but here comes Stevie Botcher onto the inside groove and Brett Hearn right behind. It's spot number 7. Camara holds on to the lead. Second, still Hoffman. Third, it's Horton. Fourth, it is Cozy. Fifth, it is the 17 car, 3 wide for the number 6 place battle. Botcher holds on to it down the home straightaway. 17 of Jazembowski, spot number 5. Botcher is 6th, and Brett Hearn right there in spot number 7. Hearn coming through the pack very, very quickly. Has now closed the gap between himself and 6th place running Stevie Botcher. Riding the number 4 spot. Lap traffic once again for the leader coming out of turn number 2. Tommy Kinsella about to get a lap put on him. Second and third place, nose and tail down the back straightaway. Doug Hoffman drops it down to the inside groove. Follows race leader Dave Camara down to the inside corner. They chop off the inside corner in turn number 4. Top 3 down, nose and tail down the home straightaway. Dave Camara holds on to the lead. Doug Hoffman is second. Third spot is Jimmy Horton, and Hoffman tries to make some moves into the inside part of the speedway. Camara steps up on the outside groove to make a move past lap leader Tommy Kinsella. Kinsella now getting lapped by the second place running Dougie Hoffman. But here comes Horton onto the inside groove. Lap traffic and Horton fights for the number 2 position. Camara holds on to the lead. Hoffman to the outside. Horton follows suit in spot number 3. Cozy still 4th. Jazembowski 5th. Botcher then in 6th, and Brett Hearn rides into spot number 7. Second place is where the action is happening. It is between the number 87 of Jimmy Horton and the 60 of Doug Hoffman. 98 laps are coming up upon us. Dave Camara down the back straightaway. Camara leading the small block modified classic for Carquest Auto Parts right now. Camara can hear the horsepower behind him. It's the number 60 of Doug Hoffman. Hoffman looks onto the inside part of the speedway. Moves up to the outside. Top 3 runners are rallying for the lead right now. Camara on the outside and Hoffman dancing down to the inside. They'll try and put a lap on Gary Lusher down the back straightaway. Hoffman moves to the outside. Jack Johnson going down behind the pit wall. Johnson in trouble. Top 3 once again, moving through the pack. Lusher gets a lap put on him. Camara shows the way. And Hoffman rubs some skid rails with lap traffic. He'll slingshot onto the inside. He tries to move him around to the outside part of the speedway. Hoffman knows that there's no time to play games down the back straightaway. Hoffman quickly moving his way back up to the number 2 spot, right behind race leader Dave Camara. 101 laps have now been scored, just 49 more circuits around. And Dave Camara looking for possibly the biggest win of his career here at the Orange County Fair Speedway. Don't count out Dougie Hoffman. He's now closed in and he's down to the inside part of the speedway. Hoffman, a very talented inside runner in the 5/8 mile hard clay this afternoon. Nose and tail, Hoffman onto the inside. Camara back to the outside. Watch Jimmy Horton from the outside group. He'll try and box Dougie Hoffman in. Hoffman slingshots up to the outside and Jimmy Horton closes the door down the back straightaway. Top 3, caution lights coming on, problems down in turn at number 3. Single file restart. After 103 laps of competition, The caution lights come on the field as we had two cars slowing down in the turn 3-4 area. They have picked up on the tail side of the field. We have some racing debris on the speedway down in turn number 3. The Gallagher GMC safety truck will be called to the scene to quickly pick up some type of racing matter that has been dropped onto the speedway by one of these small block modifieds. See that the turn 2 at the Orange County Speedway this afternoon. Watch if that is not the groove that he'll fight for the number 1 spot with. Green flags come out. Hammers go back down. We're back underway. Dave Camara once again will show the hard-charging Dougie Hoffman. He'll close that inside door coming out of turn number 2 this time, and Camara begins to pick up on Hoffman's idea of running the inside, but Jimmy Horton showing some signs of muscle back there in spot number 3. Down the straightaways, Horton can close that gap between himself and Dougie Hoffman very quickly. Hoffman holds on to the bridesmaid position right now. Second place it is still Jimmy Horton back there in 3rd. Cozy 4th, Jazombowski 5th, with Stevie Botcher on the inside. Botcher tries to use some muscle way down and going to the top 5 running order. Botcher back in 6th. Hearn is still 7th aboard the number 1 car. Hearn up to the outside part of the speedway, and he'll make a move on Stevie Botcher. Tom Foley in trouble. Car down the back straightaway. Some pieces of sheet metal flying off that car. He's on the outside part of the straightaway. Caution lights come on. The number 26 of Tom Foley. 7 laps have now been scored in the 150-lap Carquest Auto Parts feature event. The small block modified classic here on Eastern States Weekend. The first one of its kind for a $7,500 paycheck. 100. How many think Jimmy Horton's going to show some muscle? How about Brett Hearn coming up through the pack? I knew I can get some life out of you folks down front here. All right, caution lights have now been turned out. Back on once again as we have some problems in the restarting order. Paul Matthews, assistant starter, being called down to the straightaway to try and straighten out some of the restarting matter right now. Of course, a single file restart is in order. Well beyond a very talented small block and big block modified driver, continually using the inside, while Horton continually showing muscle on the outside, as did Danny Johnson when he was a factor in this event about 30 laps ago. We'll see what position the hard-charging Dave Camara uses this time. Up to the outside part, here comes Hoffman down to the inside, and Dougie Hoffman takes the lead off the get-go. Up to the turn number 2 area, quickly exiting turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Dave Camara back in the number 2 position. Camara could not get off the box quick enough, and Hoffman was right there to produce that drag race. Hoffman, now your new race leader, the Coors Racing Sellers Mobile number 60 over. Holds on to the number 1 spot. Dave Camara is 2nd. 3rd place it is Jimmy Horton. Frank Cozy is 4th. Frank Jazombowski is 5th. Stevie Botcher 6th. But here comes Brett Hearn for the number 6 spot. Hearn on the inside. Botcher gets hung up to the outside part of the speedway. And Brett Hearn, he shows a big smile as he takes over the number 6 spot. Hearn back there, the number 6 spot right now. And Botcher running back in 7th. 8th it is Chuck Lopresti. 9th Howie Finch. 10th it's Billy Decker. And 11th would be the number 6 of Pat O'Brien. Here we come, down the home straightaway. And the Brett Hearn fan club showing some signs of strength as well after 112 laps of competition. Doug Hoffman holds on to the number 1 spot. 2nd place it is the number 26 of Dave Camara. Frank Cozy back there in spot 4. And the R7 Bobby Hayes slams that 2nd turn wall. Caution lights do come on. Hayes does move away. Caution lights coming on the field right now after 114 laps of competition. Bobby Hayes Jr. Parts, the only brand name you need to remember for quality. Todd pace car brings the field field down the home straightaway. Kenny Marshall, starter from the flagger's perch, signals the field one more lap, and we'll be back to green flag racing action. Doug Hoffman. A lot of cars, when they come down the home straightaway, drop down to the inside apron to try and put some coolness into those big block and small block modified McCreary racing tires. The track tire so far, by all indications, has been holding up tremendously well. Tires, as reported earlier, will not be a factor. And no tire wear down that inside cushion. Hearn goes way low on the home straightaway. Hoffman, your leader. Dave Camara is second. Jimmy Horton rides in third. Frank Cozy fourth. The Smith Brothers Carquest number 74 car. Fifth place is the number 17 of Frank Jazembowski. Sixth would then be the number 1 of Brett Hearn, and seventh the number 25 of Stevie Botcher. Eighth is then Chuck Lopresti aboard the number 26 car. Ninth would be the 25 of Howie Finch, and 10th the number 91 of Billy Decker. Back in spot number 11 would then be the 1 of 15 of Kenny Tremont, and 12th the number 6 of Pat O'Brien. 13th would then be the number 42 of Pete Bicknell. So your top two Mr. Dirt Point chasers are now nose and tail going down the back straightaway with Pat O'Brien. But of course, O'Brien would need several car length distance to pick up any type of a threat for Bicknell in this afternoon's small block modified shootout. 117 laps have now been scored. Doug Hoffman, a very versatile driver off the last restart. Hoffman, a very talented driver. He now takes over the pacing duties. Caution lights get turned out. The Olsen Todd Cutlass pace car back down to the inside. Here we come, thundering out of turn number 4. Green flag flies. We go back to racing action. Watch Jimmy Horton build up the strength on the outside of turn number 2 this time. Horton has a lot of horsepower in that small block modified power plant. Down the back straightaway, he closes in very tightly against second place running Dave Camara. Cozy still back in the number 4 spot. Jazembowski is 5th, and Brett Hearn right there in spot number 6. But now Botcher tries to put a move back down to the inside part of the speedway. Botcher will not take the spot away from Hearn. Hearn retains that number 6 running order. Hearn on the outside, Botcher on the inside, and here comes Botcher once again. He tries to close in, but cannot keep the RPMs up on the outside groove. Hearn holds on to the number 6 spot. Hoffman, your leader, out of turn number 4 this time. Second place, it's still Dave Camara. Third, Jimmy Horton. Fourth, Frank Cozy. Fifth, it is Frank Jazembowski. Sixth, number 1, but here comes Stevie Botcher. He'll try and press him on the inside, coming out of turn number 2 this time. Hearn quickly to the outside part of the speedway. Keeps the RPMs on the high side, and Hearn secures the number 6 spot. Teammates now in 7th and 8th position. It's Stevie Botcher and Howie Finch, nose and tail down the home straightaway. Billy Decker rides in 9th. The 10th place battle between Chuck Lopresti and Kenny Tremont now taking place on the field. Watch the 4th place battle. Frank Cozy can feel that thrust from the 17 of Frankie J. Frank Jazembowski back there, the number 5 groove right now as he tries to close the gap. He knows that Brett Hearn is on his tail. Outside part of the speedway, rides the number 87 of Jimmy Horton. Watch the battle back there between Brett Hearn and Stevie Botcher. Second place battle is taking place once again. Dave Camara. Now Horton onto the inside, and Horton will drag race Camara down the straightaway, but Camara quickly closing the door. Camara down to the inside. Jimmy Horton trying to be playing some strategy against Camara. Up to the outside, the drag race down the back straightaway for spot number 2. It's Horton on the outside, Camara on the inside, wheel to wheel, nose and tail, side by side. They fight for the runner-up position. It's Camara right there, and he outduels Horton on a turn number 4. Horton will not back off. Back up to the outside part of the speedway while Frank Cozy drops down to the inside groove. Down the back straightaway, Jimmy Horton can see some racing room on the outside. And Horton, the door gets closed on Jimmy Horton very quickly. Horton backs out of it. He put the binders on. Now the Hearn-Botcher duel is on once again. Camara holding on to it. You can see the whitewash on Jimmy Horton's tires. He scraped the outside wall, and now smoke begins to pour up of Jimmy Horton. Jimmy Horton is done for the afternoon. A tough break for Jimmy Horton. It could have been when he scraped the outside wall in a car. Comes to a rest midway down the back straightaway. Caution lights come on. Jimmy Horton, the number 87 small block block modified, while fighting for the number 2 spot a lap ago, ran out of racing room as he went to the outside part of the back straightaway, scraped that retaining concrete, and it may have shifted something loose on that small block modified. We saw the car drop off and lose power quite quickly, and he's now tailing at the end of the field as he picked it back up once the caution lights came on. We know that he is pit bound. We'll see what happens when the pit area opens up and Horton pulls in. Let's see if it's a tire change or if it's a chassis adjustment.
Tim, you know, as we have indicated before, the race must finish under green flag racing conditions. So should the caution come out towards lap number 147.48, the clock would be frozen. We would go to a green-white checkered situation as we did last night. Jimmy Horton brings the Duchess overhead door, car number 87, into the pits. They're checking the right rear suspension. I don't think they're going to change the tire. They added some fuel into the car. And they just pull him behind pit wall. A bad break for Jimmy Horton aboard the Duchess overhead door, car number 87.
Caution laps, meanwhile, the caution lights get turned out, and the Olson Todd Cutlass Supreme pace car drops down to the inside. Doug Hoffman, time now begins to wind down. Just 23 more laps for this 150-lap Carquest Auto Parts feature event. Green flag flies, we're back underway. Doug Hoffman, your leader. 3 cars fight for the number 4 spot. Frankie J on the outside. Here comes Brett Hearn powering up to the outside part of the speedway. He takes over the number 5 spot, but it's all Frankie J trying to put a nose on the inside of Frank Cozy. Cozy rides in 3. Here comes Howie Finch. Finch now drafting teammate Stevie Boucher out of turn number 4 this time. Hoffman, your leader. Camara still second. Rides the number 3 spot. Frankie J running in 4. Brett Hearn back in 5. Teammates running 6 and 7. It's Stevie Boucher, then Howie Finch. 8th place now, Billy Decker. 9th is Kenny Tremont, and 10th, Chuck Lopresti. 3 cars once again looking for the number 3 place battle. Frankie J wheels up to the outside part of the speedway aboard the M&J Modular Home Sales number 17 car. Cozy moves up to the outside groove. Now they'll drop down to the inside. Nose and tail battle. They'll draft each other coming out of the turn number 4 area. Doug Hoffman holds on to the lead. Dave Camara second. Frank Cozy still third. Frank Jazembowski is 4th. Brett Hearn right there in spot number 5. Out here comes Stevie Boucher up to the inside groove. Boucher tries to build up the horsepower on the inside. He'll certainly keep the eyes open on the number 1 car, that's for sure. While he retains the outside groove, that's where the RPMs can stay at their backs above. Hoffman holds on to the lead. 132 laps have now been scored. 18 more times around the 5/8-mile hard play, and Hoffman begins to stretch things out in the number 1 position. Camara all by his lonesome in the number 2 spot. 3rd place is where the battle now takes shape. It's between the 74 car of Frank Cozy and the number 17 of Frank Jezebelski. Brett Hearn continues to ride back in the number 5 spot. Stevie Boucher then 6th. Howie Finch is 7th. 8th place of battle right now between Billy Decker and the number 115 of Kenny Tremont. Chuck Lopresti rounds out the top 10 running order. Doug Hoffman out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, a former winner of the small block modified Eastern States Classic. 3-time winner, back-to-back wins 3 times in a row for the small block of Doug Hoffman in the past Eastern States small block shootouts. This would be the first, and Tommy Kinsella loses power down the home straightaway, a flat right rear tire. He'll go behind the pit wall safely under his own power, does not bring out the caution. Hoffman holds on to the lead very, very consistently over 26 up Camara. Cozy still 3rd, 4th place of battle now taking shape. It's between Jazembowski, Hearn, and Boucher. Frankie J holds on to spot number 4. Hearn back there in spot number 5. Boucher still 6th. Kelly Finch is 7th. Decker 8th. Tremont 9th. And Lopresti in spot number 10. Doug Hoffman. Caution, lights coming out of the speedway. Got a loose tire off of one of these small block modifieds down in turn 3 and 4. Caution, the lights come on the speedway. Gary Lusher has come to a rest on the outside outside of turn number 4, Auto Parts feature event. Doug Hoffman, a 3-time repeat winner to the small block portion of Eastern States. The first time he can win a 150-lap classic here at the fairgrounds. Dave Camara, in by far what is his best outing ever here at the Orange County Speedway. Frank Cozy, powering that small block Smith Brothers 74 car, doing an outstanding job so far back there in the number 3 slot. Frank Jazombowski, a car he just picked up the ride in midway through the 1994 season, doing a good job back there in spot number 4. Brett Hearn, after losing a lap earlier in this race, has regained a lap, now up in the number 5 position, showing very, very much potential for a last late race charge for the lead. 6th place it is the teammate Stevie Botcher. The 7th place running Howie Finch. 8th it is Billy Decker. 9th the 115 of Kenny Tremont. And 10th the number 26 of Chuck Lopresti. 11th and of course the number 6 of Pat O'Brien. And 12th the man shooting for the Mr. Dirt Point Championship this year, the number 42 of Pete Bicknell. This 150 lap shootout. Caution lights get turned out. The Olsen Todd pace car drops in. Here's Joe Murata to take you home.
Well, thank you, Tim, and it's definitely going to be a shootout here for the final 10. The Coors Wheels, car number 60, leads him coming out of turn 4 and down the front straightaway. Hoffman leans down into the corner. Camaro rides right there in the number 2 spot. Cozy runs third, Jazombowski fourth. Here comes Hearn. He goes to the outside. Hearn putting on a bonsai move going down there in the number 3 corner. Hearn goes up and around the outside. He's battling for the number 4 and number 3 spot. Hearn comes battling down the front straightaway. And Hearn now has picked up 1 spot. Hearn goes after Cozy for the number 3 position. They wheel off the turn and down the back straightaway. There's your battle right now. Jazombowski also joining right in on a battle. Jazombowski, car number 17, trying to come out back on the inside. But Hearn right now has got the footprints in the number 4 spot. After being down a lap, he has picked it up. Hoffman in command. And here's Hearn getting up wide, and he's going after Cozy. Here comes Hearn. The jet is on the move. And the corporate jet lands in the number 3 spot right now. Wow, it's never over until it's over. Keep your eyes on them. They come shooting down the front straightaway. Hoffman, the leader. Dave Camara runs second. And on the move, a man with a mission is Brett Hearn. Hearn comes down the back straightaway. There are still 7 laps remaining. Here's Hearn trying to close in on Camara. Camara hot foots it out of turn number 4. Hearn is closing in on the 2nd place running car of Dave Camara. Camara still in the number 2 spot, but Hearn is on a move. Cozy rides back 4th, Jazombowski 5th. Here's Hearn closing in. Hearn looks down to the inside. The sign out of the Speedway, 5 laps to go. Dave Camara holds on to that number 2 spot. Cozy rides back there 4th. Here's Hearn trying him up on the outside. He drag races going out of back straightaway, stays up on the outside part of the Speedway. Now drops down on the inside. Does he have a lane open down there? He might shovel, come right up the inside part. No, he bops back. Hearn putting a show on. Cozy back there 4th, Jazombowski 5th, Botcher is running 6th. Finch rides 7th, Decker is 8th, 9th is the 115 of Kenny Tremont. Lopresti running 10th. Patty O'Brien riding back there in 11th spot, 12th position. It's Bicknell. Here's your leader coming across, 3 laps to go. The battle for the number 2 spot. Hearn tries to go out to the outside part of the Speedway. You know they are in radio control. Dave Camara goes outside. Camara continuing to go to the outside part of the Speedway. Sign coming off at turn number 4. 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go. And Hoffman in command here with a quarter straightaway lead. Hoffman works down out of turn number 2. The battle's for the number 2 spot. They work off of turn number 2. Going down the back straightaway. Yellow right out of the Speedway. Everett Holbrook in car number 717. Holbrook in car number 717. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go. Hearn, we're going to have to go green, white, checkered. It's going to be a shootout right to the end. Green, white, checkered will be the way this race finishes. It cannot finish under caution. It must finish under green flag racing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, how many want the Coors Wheels number 60 of Dougie Hoffman to stay up there and win it? How many would like the resident of the state of Vermont, the Camara slate number 26 of Dave Camara to win it? And the long shot, how many want the Pyro number 1 of Brett Hearn to do it? Well, you got three. You got green, white, and checkered, and it's anybody's race. And of course, some of these cars could be running low on fuel. We'll try to check to see when Hoffman went into the pit area. They tell us Dougie Hoffman went in with 33, around lap number 33. Jimmy Chester's number 16 up onto the hook here. Yellow remaining out onto the speedway. Some of the early cars could be running into a fuel problem right now. Some of the cars that made the early pit stop, like Doug Hoffman's car number 60 and Dave Camara's car number 26. Corrected, Dougie Hoffman pitted on lap number 54, so he should be okay. Keep your eyes up there into the corner. The Olsen Todd Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme pace car pulls down to the inside. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to get down and dirty. Here they come. The green is out. The hammer's down. Down the front straightaway they come. Hoffman holds on to that lead. And Hoffman, right rear tire, smokes going down into the corner. Here comes Hearn. Hoffman smokes going down to the back straightaway. Hearn goes down the back straightaway. He's up to the number 2 spot. Here comes Hearn. Hoffman, white flag is out. Hearn is on the move. Down they come. Out of turn number 4. The white flag is out. Hearn is really on the move right now. He goes to the outside part of the speedway. Hoffman drops down onto the inside. He's got a 2-3 car advantage. But now Hearn comes flying in on him. Going down into that tricky number 3 corner. Here they come. It's going to be a hot dog ding-dong battle. Scorers, stand by. Here they come. It's going to be Hoffman taking them to the win. Hearn is second. Camara is third. Cozy is 4th. Jarzembowski 5th. Howie Finch is 6th. 7th is Stevie Botcher. Then I believe Kenny Tremont. And then the number 91, the wheels discount number 91 of Billy Decker. Wow. It's never over until it's over. They almost thought they heard the fat lady singing. She was just a humming. But I'll tell you, the winner, he worked all the way out. Car number 60, Dougie Hoffman out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, aboard the Coors Wheels Discount Auto Supply car number 60. Finishing second, the Pyro Oil Auto Palace, car number 1, the corporate jet of Brett Hearn.
Prime winner of this very prestigious small block shootout.
Well, you know, we won it 3 years in a row, and then they started giving cars away, and we didn't win it. I don't think they're giving a car away this year, so we won it again. But I'm just happy to be here. You know, the crew did a good job. Coors, Wheels, Papers Cutter. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. And Jimmy Snyder did a heck of a job on this 358. It's the first unported motor he did, and I'm real happy with it.
Doug, you really played it cool out there in the 5/8 mile today. It seemed like you planned your passing very quickly and very strategically. Was it the outside of the inside groove that you liked to hug for the entire 150?
Well, I worked the outside a little bit in the beginning. I wasn't that good out there, and I made some adjustments while I was in the car, and I started working real good on the bottom, and I just took my time in the beginning, and Camara slipped up on that one restart. He left the door wide open for me to drive by, and I said, whoa, this will be nice, you know.
Well, just 3 laps to go. The caution lights came on. Your race safe system came on. What went through your mind when the crew told you who was behind you?
Well, they didn't say nothing. They just said, just keep running the race you've been running. I didn't really want that yellow at the end because I figured we had a nice big lead, and hey, that's all part of it. You know, Brett's real good on this racetrack. He got in trouble on the start. Today was our day.
Well, as an outside invader, you showed all the Orange County regulars the quick way around. How were the tires? We had reports that tire wear was very well throughout the entire distance.
Well, my car felt good the whole distance. I haven't looked at the tire yet, but the car felt good the whole 150 laps. So as far as I'm concerned, the tires
tires work good.
Any worries whatsoever? How about fuel consumption?
We just put about 5 gallons in on the stop. Small blocks don't use a lot of fuel, so we were good.
Well, you kept your nose clean the entire distance. You ran an outstanding race, and what a job. Well done as the winner of the 1994 Carquest Auto Parts Eastern States Feature event. Doug, congratulations once again.
Thanks.
Doug Hoffman, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Carquest Auto Parts Small Block Modified Feature event. Ladies and gentlemen, your second place finisher at the wire with the Pie Royal #1, Brett Hearn. And Brett, even for a second place finish, you had your work cut out this afternoon.
Well, that's the kind of second place finish you got to be satisfied with. We didn't win the race, but we came from a lap down. We played our cards exactly the way we had to. The crew did a great stop. You know, and I know, hey, it's showtime. You know, it's a show, and that's what it was. It was a great race.
What a scare right off the beginning when you brought out the first caution light of the afternoon, and then you really knew you had a lot of hard work cut out for you as you went a lap down in the pit area.
Well, we had a wheel come apart on us and got in the wall there. I don't know if it happened when I hit the wall or it happened first, but I thought we were done at that point. I didn't even rush back to the pits because I thought for sure we were done. Pulled in the pits down there, and all it was a wheel and a tire. We got that changed, and at that point we lost the lap, and we knew we had to change our strategy a little bit.
Well, a lot of different thoughts must have been going through your head. You knew you were a lap down, but that certainly hasn't been the first time in your career that you were faced with such a position. Did you really think that you had what it took to make such a strong drive back to the front?
Well, you know, I figured I really didn't even have to get back to the front because I knew everyone was going to pit early, and if I stayed out, that eventually I'd get to the front, ride it there to the next yellow, and make up the lap. It was just a matter of getting to the front and then being able to stay there until the next yellow came out, and it's exactly the way it happened.
How about that last yellow in the field with just 3 more laps to go? Did you really say an extra prayer there to give it all you had?
Well, you could see an open track, we could run a little quicker than the guys that were in front of us, and it was just a matter of getting in front of them. And I don't know if I had anything for the 60 car, but I would have liked to have been there a little sooner and find out.
Any worries whatsoever? Tires seem to be working very well this 150 lap distance. Fuel, any problems whatsoever?
No, not really. Of course, we stopped there and then took a little bit of gas, but tire wear looks excellent.
Well, Brett Hearn, you probably did more hard work this afternoon than you did probably the entire weekend so far. It's not over yet because you've got some running to do tomorrow afternoon for the Carquest Schaefer 200. Congratulations on an outstanding drive back up to the front.
Thank you, Tim.
Brett Hearn, ladies and gentlemen. Second place finisher in the Carquest 150. And ladies and gentlemen, an outside invader with his best finish ever here at the Orange County Speedway, coming all the way down from the state of Vermont. Dave Camara, you had a lot of us sitting on the edges of our seats the entire distance long.
Yeah, the car went really good for us today. I would really like to thank the guys on the crew. They worked really hard to get this car put together, and I'd like to thank Jack Tant for such a great motor and Bobby Hearn for such a terrific race car.
With an outside invading status, you haven't had a whole lot of track time here at the Orange County Speedway. Did it kind of take you by surprise just how well you were running out there in the 5/8 mile?
Yeah, we knew we were going to. We started up front, and we just figured I had to try to keep the car straight, and I knew I was with a good bunch of guys, so we were pretty much all set.
Now, we saw you running almost the entire distance. You seem to have liked the inside groove much better than the outside groove, especially through turns number 1 and 2.
Yeah, the bottom seemed to be a lot better for me here. I don't know why. I just feel more comfortable down there, I guess.
Well, I'll tell you what, you certainly proved that you are a force to be reckoned with now at the Orange County Speedway. Dave Camara coming all the way down as an outside invader. Congratulations on an outstanding drive and a third-place finish.
Thank you very much.
Dave Camara, ladies and gentlemen, your third-place finisher in the Carquest Auto Parts 150-lap feature event. The folks from Schaefer Beer for the Small Block Modified Classic event. An outstanding drive, of course, on small blocks for many years in the division. And down here in Victory Lane, amidst all the top 3 finishers, Doug Hoffman and Brett Hearn, and of course, Dave Camara, as they get their pictures taken to Victory Lane right now with Mr. Rich Pillai from gained a lot of profit. We've been plugging the specials all week.